hi guys. This
Hey.
was weird on my end because I didn't hear the countdown music. So I hope everything is working. I'm on my sister's laptop because Mercury retrograde took my PC and I didn't had the chance to replace it yet. Hopefully this is, you know, acceptable. Fortunately, Ange has a much better, connection than I do. So she's gonna talk more than me, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't know how much I can, be in the chat and, you know, just looking at it because I'm not sure how much this can handle. But hopefully you can hear us. Please do let us know because, I have no idea how everything is work here. But hello and welcome. And you too,
Hey.
if you're watching it on a replay.
Hello, everyone. Hey, everyone in chat. I see Susie and V. Kestrel. Hello. It's so good to be
Yes.
here.
And hi, Ben. Thank you
Hey,
so much for
Ben.
being here.
Hey.
So yes, first we're going to do I don't know, I think it's gonna be a short one because it's not I mean I don't have a lot of answers, but we're trying to do the VR for Chris's hashtag, how I use Oracle. We will see. Hi Beth, hope your uh oh god, I forgot what is it called? Sister-in-law in English? Was it Beth's who had the surgery? I think it was Beth, right?
Um, I'm not. I. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you were there, you would know. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna guess because besides everything, I can talk today, so it's gonna be fun.
It's okay. It's
But yeah,
okay.
thank you so much for coming in. And
Yes. Thanks for having me.
sorry.
This is great.
Okay, so we have, I mean, I think then what? Dizzy and cats for me?
That's Kelly. Dozen cats for me. That's Kelly. Yeah.
Doesn't cats. Ah, okay, Kelly. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, I
Kelly.
was like, she's coming, or they're coming for you, so in a good way. Hi, Debbie. Thank you so much for being here.
My Tower of
Yes, first
Oracle
time in
is
chat. Thank you so much for
collapsing.
being here. Usually it's better, but Mercury retrograde. So please, everybody send positive, vibes so I can get a laptop tomorrow or, at least the by the end of this week because I'm suffering. Hi, Chris. So the link for Chris's video for the hashtag is in the description, just like Angie's channel. So please be subscribed to her if you haven't already. Daughter-in-law, yes.
So,
Oh, it was oh, cool, cool, cool. Because
oh,
I
good.
wasn't, I missed out on the update, so I wasn't
Hmm.
sure. But good, happy to hear. Okay, I know, I know. I've seen those shelves. I've seen those shelves, and I was the same.
Oh, there's more shelves over there. So,
And I told her that she
mm,
needs to film a collection video, and she was like, "But people are gonna be like mean because I have so many decks." So people tell her that that's a good thing. We want to see all the decks.
some people are so judgmental out here. They're like, "Oh my god, you have too many decks," and I'm like, "Oh my god, your
We don't
opinion
care about
is
those
not
people.
relevant."
We don't care. I'm gonna be in the comments like, yes, please, more like this. Thank you, Susie. Hi, Diane. How are you doing, lovely? Okay, so
Hello.
let's you should start because you have more answers.
Okay. All right. So this is fun. Thanks, Chris, for starting this tag. First, I love Oracle. Like Oracle to me, like I'm with Deanne because I know I've watched her response to this, and I know how much she loves Oracle. Oracle to me is a must. I use it in comparison with tarot all the time, and I couldn't have one without the other. So, anyhow, so I was really excited to do this tag. So, how I use Oracle. My responses are pretty similar to some of the others. So I know that Laura, Aquamarine 18, did a response to this tag, as well as Deanne, and of course Chris, because he started it. So pretty similar in that how I use it. So of course, a daily pull to like reflect and meditate, and depending on like what I'm using Oracle for, depends on the deck that I'm using. So daily pulls, I mean, I could pretty much use any Oracle for that if I really wanted to focus on that. Of course, as Chris was saying in his, I just would pick up an oracle deck and use it in a spread like I would use any tarot deck. That is a possibility. My favorite way to
Do you
use it,
have a
though,
favorite spread?
a favorite spread, you know, I really like to keep it simple. Like the 3 card spreads, any of the 3 card spreads are really good. Any more in depth, and I just am like really not interested. But it depends, I suppose, on what exactly like I'm trying, like what my intention is. So if I'm really trying to like dig deeper into something, I will look for another spread, and I have some spread books behind me that I do use for that. Um, and personal development as well. I do have some for that. Private work, like meaning deeper work, like grief work or shadow work. I really do love the wisdom of the shadow for that sort of work.
Mhm.
And I have a few other decks that are similar in nature. So I do love that. Um, I use Oracle for creative ideas or intention setting, and focal points. So like if I pull one, like for example, if I pulled like a community card, and then I would put that as a I would put that as the focal point, and then pull cards around that. I know Chris displayed that in his video as well, and that's primarily how I use it, a focal point or in unison with the tarot as well, either as a clarifier or a signifier, like a focal point. So that's primarily how I use it. And I would say I probably have as many Oracle as I do tarot, if not more. And you're hearing Ange echo. Uh-oh. So there's an echo?
Yeah, but it's been gone just like before. So I was just saying that
It,
unfortunately we can't figure out why, and I'm not familiar of this laptop settings, but hopefully it's just for shorter times and it disappears.
okay.
It's Mercury. Everything is Mercury. Come on, guys. You know that.
Yes. Oh gosh. Yeah, so what are ways that you like to use tarot, Orsi? I
Oh,
mean,
before we are moving on
Oracle.
to me, because this was too quick. So I want to ask, when you use them to creative ideas or something, I mean, if you're feeling, if you feel comfortable sharing some examples how you do that.
Um, sure. So, okay. So, for example, like when I said that I would pull one to like reflect or meditate on, one of my favorite decks to do that with is the Cup of Contemplation cards. This deck
Oh
is
no.
made by one of our tarot tubers by the name of Julie and Peekaboo Rose, and
Oh,
they have really simple prompts. Like, for example, so each one features. I have a glare. So,
oh,
like
I
a
can see that.
what brings me joy.
Which was a tarot spread revisited spread. I'm just saying.
What if I didn't self sabotage? How do I let go? So these are really good for just like a quick reflection or even like a journaling prompt. So I will pull one and put one on my little stand and reflect on that. These are available on Make Playing Cards for anybody that is interested in getting. And she has other decks on there too. Yeah, so that's an example of how I would use that. Another example, I suppose, is when I said I use it for creativity to get my creative juices flowing. I really like to use Kathy Nichols. She has. Oh, the sun is shining. I appreciate it, but not on my cards. Thank you. Uh, so we have story cards and we have the synchronicity cards. And I'll just give you an idea of what they look like.
Damn, it looks really interesting.
So Kathy Nichols is on Etsy. She's amazing. Like she does all of this artwork. Come on, lighting, work with me here. There we go. So yeah,
Oh, I like that.
so for these are like my creative cards that I get into if I'm looking for a new idea to create some new stuff for my channel, or just to get an idea of
Okay.
of what I want to create in my life going forward. So that's how I work with those ones. There's also a way that she has with the synchronicity deck. You can roll a dice, and depending on what dice you roll, corresponds to a certain spread that she has here. So if you roll a number 1, you pull 1 card, number 2, 2 card, so on.
Mhm.
And then depending on how many cards you pull, she'll tell you like what that means. So like if you pull 2 cards in 2 card spread, card 1 is your conflict card and 2 is the resolution card. And so it just kind of gives you some prompts to go off of.
Can you give us the Etsy store's name or something? Because people are like, "Oh, what is that? We want it."
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe someone can find it and link it.
Kathy Nichols.
That's why we
Yeah.
need your collection video, and then we don't have to guess.
Yeah. Kathy Nichols. She's really easy to find. She's here in Canada too, I think. So, yeah. So she also has like a flower deck as well. Her work is like very intuitive, I find. And so I love
Mhm.
working with it in that way. What else do I got for you guys here? So another thing that I really like to work with is soul cards. I don't have them out with me, but I'm sure you've all seen them around the community before.
Yeah.
And I'm just copying and pasting Kathy's link here into the chat. There we go. Okay.
Awesome.
So when I want to go deeper with like more intuitive work to sort of sometimes I don't want to be prompted with like keywords. I just really want to use my own intuition. So I will use the soul cards for that. And I also will use what is called interactive cards. These cards are actually used by like family therapists, and they're
Interesting.
yeah, and they're to do that. They're to sort of evoke an emotion or just sort of let you go wherever it is that you feel you need to go with that image. So, for example, just to show you a few.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so there's no keywords, there's no guidebook. It's
Mhm.
just you're supposed to sit with it and then just see what comes up. You know, of course, you can use it in a therapeutic way, but you could use it in a creative way. Yeah, so that is the interactive cards. And again, it goes into play with the soul cards as well, with the intuitive. So you pull it. There's no really guidebook. You just sort of go with whatever the image is bringing up within you. So I like that. It really, some people can like sit and just like meditate, and that's cool. And I very much do, but not so much in the way that it's just like cross-legged, like om.
Same.
So I'm a visual person, and sometimes I just need that visual stimulation to sort of let me drop into that more calm place and let my mind go where it needs to go. And then, of course, there's other times I'm just like silent with with the actual meditation. But I really do get more benefit out of it if I have some sort of visual stimulation to help me quiet all the other shit in my mind. So
I mean, that's why I use guided meditation, because if I'm just, I know that it's very useful and I want to start practicing just, letting my thoughts come forward and not reacting, but I
mhm.
can go somewhere just so far away that I'm not doing anything meditative and I'm just going to be as anxious as I was before. So in the
Yep.
morning, I usually just do a 10 minutes guided one so I can start my day like, yeah. And
Hmm.
then,
Hmm.
I honestly, it helps. So, I unfortunately I'm not that, sitting in a one position for 3 hours person either. I think that's a personality type or something. Yeah. Beth was asking you this question.
Beth. Yes, I am actually. Yes, I am in my third year of my nursing program at the university. And this semester, which just started at the beginning of January, I'm actually taking a semester off. So I should be returning in the next semester, but we'll see. There's a lot of reasons why I'm taking a break right now. So we'll wait and see. I've been in school for a really long time. Um, yeah, long. So I had to do pre-health studies. Before that, I had to take nursing assistant courses. Before that, I did dietary courses. Um,
Oh wow.
so I'm at my breaking point with all that. and I just want to focus on something else for now. But yeah, at my heart, I do know that I'm some sort of a healer, and I thought nursing was my calling, and it may still be, but there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I'm just going to sit with that for a little bit right now because the world is a very changed place right now. So,
Absolutely. I mean, and it's funny how my internal changes aligned with everything that happened outside of me as well.
yes.
I think it was for a lot of us the same, that we started on a spiritual path and then all the things happened and that just escalated it. So
Hmm.
I don't think that's a coincidence either.
Exactly. And at first, honestly, I was grieving. Like, it's a whole story. It doesn't, I'm not going to get into it right now. And I will share it eventually, maybe. But it was like, it was like this deep grief of like, am I doing the right thing and all this and that. And it's not that, I mean, my studies are fine. Like, I'm like top of the class. Like, it's nothing to do with that. It's just that, I don't know. Like, sometimes you just hit a wall and you're like, hmm, let me think about this for a minute, because really, as much as I want to be a bedside nurse, you're very limited on what you can do in terms of actually helping someone. Like, you
Yeah.
are overworked, short staffed. I mean, we can definitely don't want to get into the politics of it all, but that's a big part of it. So
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that when I serve in that capacity, that I am bringing as much as I can to be able to help people. And I don't really want to be limited by doctor's orders and things of that nature, if you get my drift. So,
I do. I was on the other side in the bed a lot of the times, and I was like, please. I mean, honestly, there was so many times that I was like, please let the nurses work. They do know, they actually know what they need to do. You don't have to come in and just be
yes,
like,
exactly, exactly. And there's so much, and that's another thing too, is like the whole culture of it. Nurse bullying, the doctors treating the nurses like shit. Um, there's a whole like sort of Pandora's box to this situation, but I just I know that I'm here to serve a higher purpose, and I just want to make sure that I'm not wasting my time doing something that's not going to allow me to do that. That's all. So,
and
well,
just because you're good at what you originally set out doing doesn't mean you have to stay there, because
exactly.
you can be great in something else. So
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So I'm just trying to allow what I already have learned, and not only from school, but from like life experiences and just who I am in general, and seeing where I can apply that in different areas of my life. So we'll see what doors open from here. So, but thanks
oh,
for
it's so
asking,
cool
Beth.
to be freaking out. So I envy you.
Oh,
Yeah, and the chat is really loving you and think that you're, definitely that's the sort of type of person who can lend support. And I'm the same as well. I do think that
hmm.
you're so.
Oh,
And
thank you.
yeah, I mean, spiritual rain. I don't know if I know you. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I don't think
Yeah,
I know your name.
that's rain.
But
Yeah,
I mean, most of us are here as well. Rain. Okay, okay. So I
rain.
don't have a
Is it
lot.
okay if I show the portrait that you drew of my grandma? Can I show that on here? Is that okay, Rain? Like, um, I just got it in the mail today, and I just want to ask her permission if I can share it because I was like blown away. um, and if she says it's okay, I will.
I think
So,
so. Like therapist or counselor, counselor.
mm, hmm.
Oh wow, five nurses.
I thought about, so I love psychology and I love everything to do with like mental health, but I
We
don't
have
know.
permission.
I just don't know. Let me just grab it here. If I could, oh, ouch. If I could do that all the time, right? To sit with that heaviness of people's problems. Like, I don't mind helping people, but like if that's your career, you're sort of stuck in that, right?
Yeah.
So let me see if I
Oh
can.
wow. Oh wait, I will try to envision you slowly. Does it help?
Yep.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So this was actually hand drawn by Rain here in chat, and
So
she sent. It's actually a card. Like I like put it into a protection
yeah.
because I really don't want anything to happen to it. It's so special to me. I oh I received this today in the mail and I cried. I
I
was just
mean,
like,
obviously.
oh my gosh, that is like the sweetest thing ever. Oh my gosh. I think my kid's going to be getting off the school bus, so if you hear some noise, just ignore
I mean, we love
it.
kids here, so we don't mind. So
Mm,
yeah, I mean, I was thinking about if I think if I knew about what a therapist was when I was trying to figure out what I wanted with my life, I might have gone down that route, but
mhm.
it wasn't even suggested, back then. You know, all you were told to do to go and get a high school diploma because then you have something more higher education, and then you're like, okay, I have a higher education and I don't know any practical, I don't have any practical skill, and I what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? So
Right, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny that the
Hi,
dog
Auntie
barks like
Kay,
every
thank
day
you
at the
for
same
coming.
time. Like, you know who that is, buddy. Go get him.
So
Um,
yeah, my response to the tag, so I don't have as much, and maybe not as interesting either as Angela
oh,
has. So I
hey,
have four,
Krista.
but one of them is just in the I should do this category. So yeah, I haven't done daily reads for quite a long time, but January was as it was. I mean, it's still not over, but it was quite heavy and difficult, and I have a thing flying around here. And what I do is actually pull a daily oracle card throughout ever since the 1st of January, and it's so funny because when I was using tarot for it, there were days that I was like, I didn't experience the Three of Swords, so what was I couldn't find meanings in my day that connected to the tarot, so I was like, it's not for me. But with this oracle and just oracles in general, it just works out so much better
Mm-hmm.
because what I'm getting is actually dead on point to what I need to hear, and it's not as restricted to so that I'm not able to apply it for my day. So I think for daily pulls, Oracle actually is better.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
one of them. The other one is the same. Sometimes I use a tarot spread and I use an Oracle for clarifying purposes, or just like a message at the end, or summing up what the whole reading was all about. Because these days I like posting pick a card readings and just let them be longer than the short ones, and I just love that. And I love that when I'm done with the whole reading and I pull the last message, it's just like one card for the whole reading, and I'm like, yes, this was what I was trying to say for the reading.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I very
Sums it
much.
all up.
Yeah, but sometimes I do it the other way around, that I pull an oracle card as the main energy, and I pull tarot to
Mm-hmm.
see when I'm supposed to, like in my Feel Good Friday readings, I pull an oracle as the main energy, and then I pull tarot to see what I can do to support and what I shouldn't do, because it's blocking the energy, and that's something that I really like as well. And the third one is actually that I enjoy the most is that in those pick a card readings, I just pull like multiple oracle decks and then I put together the meanings from them. And
Mm-hmm.
I love how they can be so layered, add
Yes.
something new to the meaning, but have all these connections. So there's a lot of synchronicity in all those readings, and I'm loving them. So
Yes, that's what I love the most about pairing
yeah.
either different oracles or just different decks in general. And then, of course, as you know, like I take my trinkets and so,
Yeah,
um,
I want to start doing that as well. I just need some starter pack. I know, I love that whole.
so it's really neat to see the connections, like when you do pair trinkets or whatever with it.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's really like you can't make this shit up. It's like wow.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. when there's time everywhere, and yeah, it's about divine timing, and then
Hmm.
there's multiple times coming up because
Yes.
that's the most important part of the reading. So
Yes, it's like a
yeah, I really
punctuation,
enjoy
right?
that.
It's like really emphasize on this, and it's really interesting too. Like I haven't read for other people too much. I have actually a lot more lately, like privately, um, just people kind of reaching out asking for it. Um, and it's really neat because somebody like the querent will ask a question, and we'll read into it, and I would say most time the message that comes out is not what they're asking, but what they need to know. And I love
Yeah,
that
exactly.
because, we are, I mean, humans with our human experience, we want to know all about the money and the guy and the car and or the chick or
Yeah,
whatever.
obviously. I want to know
Right.
how my future husband looks like.
That's right, exactly. But it's really interesting, like on a psychological level, like, well, that's fine. You want the chick and the guy and the money and the house, but what shit do you need to work out before you get there? And you're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Do we got to
And
do that right
for a
now?
long time, mine was like, patience, girl. And I'm like, but I'm patient. It's like
Right?
every time, it's divine timing. And I'm like, fuck divine timing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm getting there where I'm supposed to be, I think, so yeah. And yeah, oh yeah, and the fourth one is that I want to start, but I can't do anything until I have my laptop. Honestly, I'm just so I feel like I have a limb missing, so I'm like
Oh.
I'm just in limbo waiting. Is the one that I want to do is pull a card every night and journal about it, because I haven't done that.
Hmm.
Because I was looking more into how can I journal all the shit that I have in my head in a
Right.
more constructive way. And it's because it's so far it's more about just like I felt shitty because of this, and this happened, and that's good because I'm writing it out. But
Hmm.
I want something to actually work with, like I pull a card, for example, promise.
Hmm.
Like, okay, what was it then, what do I need to promise myself? And then I work on those things, and I think it would be much more useful than just be like, today sucked, yesterday sucked,
Yeah.
I don't want tomorrow sucking, but it's probably gonna suck. So
Right. Yeah. It gets you out of that sort of mind frame. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So this is our response. I know it's not exciting and everything, but I love Oracle
I
decks,
think it's
and
exciting.
honestly, I was definitely in an I don't want to use Oracle decks mood before I started doing my pick a card readings. And ever since, I'm like, oh, I need this and I want to do that. And I'm like,
Hmm.
I had a newfound love for Oracle. So it's just
Mm,
so cool.
yeah.
So I just scrolled back in chat a bit
What else can I show you?
because I want to see what people said.
I don't know if well, I'm sure many of you are familiar with V Loving Crystals here on YouTube. She
Yes.
has so many Oracle decks. I actually took 3 of her Oracle decks and just like made a really big set.
Ooh,
So she has like an autumn one that has like all these autumn looking things, and these are the backs.
nice.
And then she has a winter one that has the winter scenes and has the snowflakes on the back. The sunshine is
Oh, we love.
beautiful, but it's messing with me here. And then there's one
I
called
mean, I can see it. So,
Eye Candy.
oh, I want to eat that. I'm on a diet. Why are you showing me that?
So, and I just mixed them all together. So that's another way too. Like I have some, and this is another thing too about the Oracle. Like some are like really fun and cheeky, but sometimes I find like the really like kind of quirky decks that are like kind of fun are actually they hit home the most, which is interesting. Like for
Yeah.
example, this one here, it's called Q Cards, and they're really cheap on Amazon. And for example, like choose your words carefully.
Fuck.
Time. So they're
Here's the
very
time. Here's the time for you.
right. So they're very
Yeah.
simple. Like tough it out. Pack your yeah. So again,
Nice.
like I got it thinking, oh, these are kind of cute. Well, it's actually one of my heaviest hidden decks. So, and I know Tangi
Oh,
uses these cards too. Um, Another one that's kind of like I thought was kind of gimmicky when I bought it, but it was kind of cute, is the BuzzFeed Oracle cards. BuzzFeed
Oh,
is in
I've
the.
seen the, yeah, I've seen a walkthrough and it looked interesting.
They come in like this really different box
I
when you
know.
open it up,
I hate the
and they have
books.
like this plastic crappy thing that you
Yeah,
have
a
to
bit
try to
into
get
your
in,
hand.
and it like cuts you when you're trying to get it out.
I had the Everyday Tarot. I had that. I think that's the one, with the purple and gold.
Yes.
I gifted it away because I couldn't. I was like, no.
So these are the BuzzFeed ones. They have like environment,
Sure, snowstorm.
and animals and different things. So they're just, again, it's all symbolism, and I mean, and really that's what we as humans, like, that's how we interpret things, is through symbolism, which is why we use the cards and all the imagery in the cards and what that means to us. Um,
Yeah,
and what I
and
like
that's
with
why Oracle is easier.
well, yeah, and what I like with Oracle is it's just more expansive. You can go more places with it. I mean, you can too with the tarot, of course. Like, if you just know the basic meanings, and then you can jump off imagery that you see within the card as well. But I just find with Oracle, depending on which deck you're using, you can take it in a much different direction, and you can go a little bit deeper. This one here that I just recently backed on Kickstarter, the You Are Here deck by Monica Ann. It takes you into this like otherworldly place, and that's what I love about artwork, because depending on, and of course, when I was pulling this out yesterday to see, like, should I show this on this, the grandmother card popped out, so I know grandma's like with
Yes,
me.
please.
Um,
Oh,
so Cosmic
no, I love
Highway,
that's cool.
Ancient Ruins. So it's very
Something
otherworldly.
that would go well with the Moonchild and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, like, if you're not
Similar
needing
to
to be grounded and you want to be more like out there, then this is another deck that you can use. So that's what I try to tell my husband. I'm like, listen, it depends on like what I'm trying to feel or do. So I just need all these different ones, and he just
Oh,
shakes his head
yeah,
like, good Lord, child.
I mean, it's like books, honestly. It's different. I mean, I'm
Yes,
not reading just one book. I have a bunch of books. I have a bunch of decks.
yeah,
That's all.
exactly. Yep. Um, yeah, and then just another pairing that I've been using lately together that I really love is the Morgan's Tarot, which is not actually a tarot; it's an oracle, and the Visions
I
in
hate
Liminal
when they do that.
Space. And
Ooh.
these are both black and white decks, and they very much look similar. Morgan's Tarot is like from like the 70s. It's an older deck that's been around for a long, long time. I think 79 or something like that. But I'll just give you an idea of what they look like. So this is the liminal space, like trust the process. And then this is the Morgan's, like orders. And
Oh,
because they're black and white, they sort of like go together.
yeah, they do.
Spell it out and love.
Love. Oh, that's
You
so
know,
interesting.
yeah.
You
And
have to be honest. You have to be more straightforward.
sparkle, bitch.
Marco Beach, I love that. Hi, Micah. I'm sorry we were not in the premiere, but I had to do the live stream today, so sorry.
Susie asked, "Am I going to create a deck?"
Yeah, I mean, I want to check the chat, but yeah, you have to answer. And I would say, just from the outside, you should do a Trinkets
Yeah,
Oracle.
yeah.
I think
I
that would be, you know,
yes,
that would be.
I have had ideas of how to incorporate that into a deck, because many people have reached out like, wow, like, how did you get all those? Like, where do I shop for those? What do I do? And of course, I can give you ideas of where to shop, what to look for, but it's just been like an accumulation over the years that I've gotten. But maybe not everybody wants to carry around all this piddly shit, and they just want to be able to get the messages through from the trinkets in the same layered way like we were talking. So yeah, like you said, you could put it into a card form, take a picture, make it into like a card form so that you could take
Right.
it with you on the go and add that to your reading
If you
without
need
having to.
help,
But I will say there is a magic in the casting of it too, right? Like there is a magic of the shuffling and things. So, but I mean, I get it. Like we all love decks, and like, hey, why not? I'm not opposed to the idea, Susie. It's just not something I'm actively working on at the very moment. But
Yeah, but if you need help, designing the cards, you know where I am. So if I can
yes.
help in any way, just do let me know.
Speaking of being a deck
Wait,
creator,
wait, let's catch up with the chat because we're behind a bit. So I saw something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've been leaning more towards oracle cards lately. Yeah, I think so. When I'm all over the place, I find the oracle cards messages are right on to the point and easier on my brain. Sometimes I feel like that
hmm
too.
hmm yep.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I really like that oracles, main and tarot.
hmm
Everybody loves using. I love hearing that people are love layering things because when where I in the course that I learned tarot, the lady who was doing that, she was like, you all you need is a three card spread, and you don't need huge spreads because you can get everything out of those three, which is true. But I enjoy those big pulling cards for this and that, and I
hmm
just
hmm
love that. I'm visually just like you. I love visual clues and everything. So
hmm hmm
what is funny? It's my future husband. Come on. Oh, and Susie, my seventh house is as empty as the desert. So,
oh.
I mean, that's every astrologer's answer. Just check what's in your seventh house, and I'm like nothing. So, deal with it. But I think it's because my main lessons are not coming from people. Hello, whoever is walking across your camera or whatever.
Yeah, my husband and my son.
You can see the shadow. Hello, shadow person.
They said hello, shadow people. They're waving. They're like, oh. It's all
So
good.
yeah.
Hey, stop it! He's making shadow puppets on my face now.
We can see you. There's enough people to see that. Yeah. I find that
Oh
mixing tarot oracle, whatever else helps, points to the area of life too. If I'm doing general day reads, the oracle might point to work or family. Yeah, it can
yes,
uh, focus the broader meaning of the tarot.
exactly. Or it pulls out different aspects, maybe of that you weren't expecting, or maybe that you were wanting to dive deeper into.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Beth, we were not paying attention. If you describe which deck you were curious, then we can narrow it down.
Oh, I think she was
Because
talking about the Etsy one.
what could be? Yes, I mean,
I love that,
if I
Krista.
do,
Yep.
if I do readings for others, I usually pull. If there's not a very specific question, I do a three card reading with one oracle at the end. So Debbie, you need to do what I did. Start doing bigger spreads, and you're gonna love that.
This is another. I forgot to show you when I was pulling out my other ones. This one is called "You Are Not Too Much," and
Too much.
um, it's an oracle deck from one of my favorite authors. Her name is Jeanette LeBlanc. That's her name right there, Jeanette LeBlanc. She's a Canadian, but she's living in Arizona right now. Um, and she's amazing, and you should all check her out because she is like the baddest queer femme bitch I've ever met in my life. Love her. So she's a writer, and so she's taken some of her work and just made them into oracle cards. So just to give you a feel for what she sounds like, she says, we are all in this together, in the sticky loss of it, in the ugly and the messy, in the wild spiral, in the inevitable path to acceptance that feels so far away from the sweetness of redemption. Because in our pain, we must find each other, mirror to mirror, the grace of our shared humanity, the stunningly broken beauty of our shared grief, and you can let your grief see my grief, and let our tears mingle into some kind of healing alchemy, and you'll know what I know, that we are never truly alone. So
Oh, that's beautiful.
she hits home with a lot of her writing, and it's like sometimes I just need a shot of Jeanette, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah. I mean, oracles can be ass kicking as well, because I don't have it now because somewhere over there, the Reclaim Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a deck that if you want to work with your emotions, which for me as an airhead and air sign all the way here is a
Mm-hmm.
hard thing
Mm-hmm.
to do. But if you want to do that, it's a deck that it's not it's not aggressive with calling you out. It's more like, hey, this is a problem and let's fix it together.
Yeah.
And you know, and I appreciate that because
Yes.
when it comes to emotions, I'm not this, oh, let's be tough and I'm just gonna deal with it. I'm like, huh, what am I supposed to do? So
Exactly.
I need
Exactly.
help
Yep.
that any that
Yep.
can do.
Yep. And that's healthy. That's a
Which,
healthy way of processing your emotions, right? I mean, we all experience it differently, but at the end of the day, like if we're not ready to face all the different aspects of it, then what are we really fucking doing? You know, you're just lying to
yeah,
yourself and you're just, and that's where we see, and speaking as a healthcare professional, we see so many fucking broken people out here because everybody just swallowing their emotions, hiding their pain, suppressing everything. And there's many different reasons for that. I don't mean to step in that territory of disrespecting anybody that is doing that, but I'm just saying, you know, in the Western world for Western medicine, like we don't allow for healing to really happen. We're just suppressing and numbing out, which is a whole nother reason why I'm second guessing the nursing thing because we're really not helping people out here. This is a really broken system, and you know, if we go back to the native teachings and to, you know, people that actually know about healing, we might get somewhere. But you know,
yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, the biggest problem is that we're not taught in school or wherever how to communicate, how to express our emotions, how to deal
mm-hmm,
with them. And those skills would be actually very, very useful in life. And yet we're like, nope, shove it up, especially, you know, if you're a guy or a boy, no crying, no showing emotions because men
exactly.
don't do that and all that bullshit. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it all comes down to, you know, your mental health, and I'm just not understanding why, and again, I'm speaking specifically Western society because that's, you know, where I am, but
Yeah.
it's like, why do we not focus as much or not, if not more, on mental health than we do on physical health? Like it is all correlated and it has to all sort of flow, but yet we're so disconnected from our bodies that we are full of illness and disease on so many levels. And I'll be going deeper into this. I actually have a series, not on my channel, but on Kelly. I don't know if she's still here, but she was in chat. The Dozen Cats for Me. There's a monthly series that we'll be doing, talking specifically mental health matters
Oh, great.
because it matters, and we need to talk about
Yeah.
it. And it's a topic that not many want to talk about because again, it means that you're going to have to face some shit that you don't want to face or do things that you don't want to do. And I think I just really would like to see more conversations in these spaces that go a little bit deeper. I mean, I love the cards and I love all of these things, but like, I think when we take these tools that we have and we take it a little bit deeper and have conversations that maybe are a little bit more uncomfortable, I think that we'll be able to support each other on a level that I think a lot of us need right now, especially this time on this planet right now. So I'm really excited to dig deeper into that and to also explore more grief work on my channel. Grief work is, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. It just again, death, dying, grief, mental health. All these conversations are just not really happening, or at least they're not happening where I'm seeing them. And I would just like to encourage people to say, you know, if they feel like you said safe enough or comfortable enough to do so, but in a way that really matters.
Hi, Tenji. We have Tenji. Yeah, I mean that's
Hey.
why I started my feel good. I mean it wasn't Feel Good Friday. How Weekly Wellbeing was the first name.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because those are the ones that I'm like, we have this tool that you can use. Let's use it for something that can help us feeling better. And you know, it's not a predictive reading. It's every week. It's a specific message that hey, we can do this if we
Hmm.
want to. Obviously, you
Hmm.
know, it's a choice, but we
Hmm.
can work on this one. We can work on that one. And I think these things are very useful. I mean, I find them useful.
Exactly. Yep. I agree. I agree. And
And that's Oh, and I mean, that's why one of the reasons why I made my second deck, the
Yes.
building relationships, because it's about, you know, relationships, but not with a specific kind of relationship in mind, because it can be for a romantic relationship, but it can be a work relationship. It can be anything, and without people, because I think it's very off-putting for a
Mm-hmm.
lot of
Mm-hmm.
people. You know, if you see two people arguing and you don't know either of them, you don't know, you have no connection to those because you're not ever in those type of situation. But if you see something like this,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, okay, that's confusion because I have no idea which one is the sky, which one is still a building.
Right. Right. Um, I I love this new. I mean, I love your zombie oracle too. I really do. And I'll admit, like when I first was like zombie, okay, but no, no, no. It's actually deeper than a zombie oracle. And for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, I do have it here. Just try not to
This
let
is
my.
gonna be the shameless promotion part of the stream. Just in case you were wondering, this is all about my text.
And if anybody could post Orsi's make playing cards link, if you have it, that'd be great. I can't post links in here right now, but these are the backs of the zombie oracle. This
It's
is
in the description of this video, the link, by the way. Oh, I love this deck. I mean, I'm sorry it's mine, but I love it.
it's just it's exactly what I need sometimes. And like I said, when I first heard that it was zombie, I was like, oh, whatever. But you know what? It's no, it's how
It's
do
a
I
zombie
don't
TV show.
I don't know how to even put it into words. It's just sort of like the perfect hit that I need at the perfect timing, or a perfect addition to a reading that I'm doing. It just sort of comes out. And then when I heard that you had this other deck coming out, I was like, wow, I got to check it out. And I love like the play on words, like building relationships.
I was
And
so
then
proud of myself for that.
and every single card is a building and it has a key word to it. So this pile here are my favorites, although I love all of them, but I just went through and saw which ones really spoke to me. So expressiveness, it reminds me to always just show up and be true, just exactly who I am. Don't try to be like anyone else. Just shine your own light, the connection to all
Oh,
things,
that's Budapest, by the way. So I was like, I need to put, the Chain Bridge and Budapest in this deck because there's two Hungarian cards. So if you want to visit Hungary, visit
Mhm.
in the summer and you can see that in the night because it's just beautiful.
And support. There's actually two different support cards in this deck. This is the one that I just pulled out here because without support, being a human being, like, I mean, we all need support, right? Um,
And on that card, are you the one supporting or are you the one who's supported? It depends on what the
hmm
keyword invokes in you.
Right, right, exactly. And I find that in a couple of different, well, several different cards, is like you could take it a couple different ways depending on the context of the reading or what you're feeling. And then there's other ones that go, a little bit more deeper again, like we were talking about with depending on what emotions that you're feeling. This one's really cool. The dependency, and you're like, well, what exactly are you depending on? Is that light depending on this strand here? Or, does it make you explore exactly what you're exactly depending on right now that maybe you could be doing for yourself? This is one of my favorites is shadow work. And this is cute.
I love the daily
I
one.
can picture myself like sitting here, like having like a cup of coffee and just hanging out with somebody.
And the chairs are dating, by the way. Hello,
Yes,
the dating.
they're so cute. Oh,
I know,
love
I
it.
love the colors.
This one really hits home for me on several, ooh, yeah, on several levels because, of course, as a person, I've experienced it, but I think more importantly, as a healthcare professional, I've seen this. I've seen this on a level. I better stop talking about it because I'm going to start crying. But
Oh,
in
yeah.
some of these institutions, I can't. And how people are treated out here,
Yeah,
it's
the hospital that I spent a lot of time there was a psych ward, and sometimes, when we were out in the garden taking a walk, we walked across, and I didn't go in obviously, but even from the outside, it was just so miserable and all the paint just was oozing out. So those are really, really horrible places
Yeah.
as
And the
well.
thing
So
is, it doesn't have to be that way. And so that's where I get really upset as a healthcare professional. Like, you know, these people need help and they need support. They don't need to be shoved away in some sort of cold asylum and treated like they are different from the rest of people. I mean, yes, they need a safe place to come, they need support, on and on and on. But the way that we treat
that's
each
not,
other
yeah,
as human beings is disgusting. The way we, they always say you can tell a lot from a society by the way they
yeah.
treat their elderly and they're
And
ill.
the mental ill, yes.
And we're
And
failing.
you
We're
can tell a
failing
lot,
miserably at
yeah,
this. It's,
exactly. And Hungary is horrible about it as well, yeah.
whew,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother stop. Like, I, I could get fired
Yeah,
up on
let's
that.
not go into that because I'm gonna be angry.
I know.
Oh,
I'm like,
I
my
know
heart
a
rate
big
just
one.
went up. I'm like, "Grr." Like, I just want to protect
Exactly.
to protect the vulnerable. Like, come to me. Like, oh, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm just saying I've been a voice for the vulnerable in many different areas out here, and I'm just,
Yeah.
yeah. So baggage is another one. Heartbreak. Oh, like, just like what stories are in those homes? And anytime I'm driving around and I see like an old abandoned home, I'm just like, oh, what stories could that house tell? And uh, anyway, this is a really good deck. Authenticity. It's probably one of my favorite words, just because I just am such a firm believer that we all need to just show up and be real. And once we show up and we're real and we're just who we are, then we're going to attract more people to us that offer the same. And we were looking at this one before we started the live. Is hope. Yeah. So many good ones. So many good ones. Oh my gosh. This is a beautiful deck, Orsi, and it has really invited me to go a little bit deeper with some of my own personal readings. Yeah. So
I'm just dropping it everywhere.
I don't think
Yeah,
I've
and
showed the
you
backs, but these
oh
are the
yeah, I
backs.
mean
They're supposed to be tile. Well, they are tiles. Sorry, but
they are
when
tiles,
I
but they look
first
like
saw
dragon
them, I
scales.
was like, they're dragon scales, and she's like, oh, they're tiles. I'm like, oh, they're dragon scales.
I mean, I had this image saved up for like 5 years at least because
Mm,
I always went back and saved it and then I didn't know what to do with it and deleted it and then I ran into it in a site again and I was like, so yeah. Finally, they live on a deck's back, so
I love it. I love it. Love it.
yeah. So I had
Um,
so much fun creating it, so I'm just so happy to hear, that because
yeah.
I did them for myself because I was looking for a relationship connection, a relationship deck because I'm doing love readings as well, and I want to be mindful about people's gender or sexual orientation and whatever. But it's not like I'm gonna ask because it's their personal business, none of my business. But with most of the decks, it's like okay, but if it's usually it's heterosexual, and then what about the rest of us?
Yeah.
So I really wanted to create something where you don't have to be worried that you're gonna pull a card. I mean, I love attraction
Hmm.
as well. I mean, just look at the other side. Standing in the shadows and being so attracted to the shiny one, and it can be anybody and everybody. It doesn't.
Hmm.
It's not age restricted. It's not gender restricted. It's nothing. So yeah, it's perfect for Valentine's Day. So if you order it now, you can still get it.
Yes.
Hopefully.
I actually took a gold Sharpie and I numbered mine. I mean, it's just me. I'm very much into numerology, the power of numbers and
Oh,
what they
okay.
hold. And it was important for me to sit with it just as it came in, like in alphabetical order, like a Virgo that I am, and I
It's
numbered
not,
it that
I'm
way.
sorry, it's not in alphabetical order in the newest edition because Make Playing Cards mixed the cards, and I'm like, I don't care because it was finally working. So
Uh,
when you get it, it's not in alphabetical order, but all the cards are there. So because
Yeah,
I had such a problem with, changing the design and re-uploading the third edition because Mercury was retrograde.
it's
So
fine. It's good. It's good. Friendship. That is so cute. Love it. Love that one.
I love that, the two stones look like they are like paws of one of the windows. It's like
Yeah.
just
This is another powerful one, this equality one. Mm.
I love that.
Yeah. And the perspectives of some of these too are different. And I love that too. What else did I want to share with you today?
Oh, that's one of my favorite one. Again, I just, pulled it up and it was
Yeah.
there. So frustration is my favorite from this deck. Favorite. But just like brain from the zombie
Yeah.
oracle. That's my in your
Use it.
face.
There it is.
I love it. I love that card. So yeah, I mean, now that I basked in the glory of, people
No.
loving my decks, if
No,
you
it's
have any questions, guys, because we're soon gonna finish things. I don't know if anybody has any questions to Jen. Okay, that was that Freudian slip. Ange,
that's okay.
I
That's
don't
all
know
right.
where that came from. Maybe
Do,
Jen is lurking.
do you have
If you're
any
lurking, Jen, do you have a question?
do you, do you have any new oracles that have recently come into your collection, Orsi, or ones that you're getting that you know of?
I mean, I was supposed to get the tea leaf oracle, but
Hmm.
it's getting a bit late, and I'm trying not to be worried, but it's been longer than the previous book depository order, so that
Hmm.
but that could have been here by last Friday, and it's still
Mm,
not here. So I'm like,
yeah.
and the oh God, what's the name? Sandra from the Whispering Well. She has a walkthrough. It's a gateway to
Oh,
something light.
the
Gateway
gateway
to
activation cards by Kyle
oh
Gray.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, those are
I picked
good.
that one. That's gonna be a birthday deck for me. I was hoping that would be here before my birthday, but I don't think it's gonna be because the previous order is late. But that's coming because I
Nice.
want to work on my relationship with the universe,
Mm.
and that seemed like something that could be useful. And the other one that I'm excited is the Harry Potter meditation deck,
Oh wow.
which is on its way as well. And it looked, I only saw two cards, but I was like, this looks like usable. So
That's so cool.
I don't have it. Chris asked if we have the Liminal Spirits Oracle, and Angie, do you have that?
It's my newest one, and ooh, Liminal Spirits. No, I don't. I don't think I have that one. I just got
Yeah,
this
same.
one, the Arboretum. Um,
Oh, that's so beautiful.
yeah, this is I think, is it off Etsy? I think it's off Etsy, and
Yeah, I removed it from my wish list because it's expensive.
it's very, yeah, it's
It's
not
so
cheap, but
beautiful.
I was able to get it for Christmas, like a gift, because I would have
Oh,
never been
nice.
able to afford it either. Um, but this oracle, I mean, yes, it's a cute oracle because it's got really cute artwork, but it's really sort of magical in the way that when you read the book and how she came up with it, it's it's basically like when you pick up this oracle, it becomes whatever you need it to be in that moment. So it talks about this little hare, this little rabbit that comes across this book, and as the hare is reading it, each time the hare picks it up, it sort of transforms into whatever it needs to be. And I'm like, what? Like that's really cool.
I'm gonna do
Not
that too.
yeah, right. So, and then it takes you into this little land of your inner self,
I
and
really like the art style. It's just so right up in my alley.
and then this one, the She of Insight or Oracle. This is new from oh gosh, come on, Ange. Renee from Meadowlark. Is it Meadowlark Mystic? Meadow. Oh, I'm so bad with
I
channel
don't know.
names sometimes. Renee in our community,
Same.
from I'm sure it's Meadowlark Mystic. Um, she created this,
Really. Yeah.
and it's an intuitive deck that she just sort of channeled different. I don't want to
Oh,
say
it's a
entities
collage.
or.
Is it a
Yes.
collage deck?
Yes, it's a collage
Collage.
deck. So
Okay.
that was the book. The deck is available on Make Playing Cards. I didn't intend for this whole thing to be plugs for different decks. This is what just came in for me. So
I'm loving it. So plug as many decks as you want.
well, and especially when it's people in our community, right? It's cool.
And
Um,
then you met a bunny. So just so
oh,
interesting.
yeah, and then so to give you an idea of how it reads, okay, let's just like shuffle them and pull one, and then I'll show you in the book like what it says. All right, so we've got Dana, she of communion. And communion's been coming up a lot for me lately, which is really
Hmm.
interesting. So then you just look her
Mhm.
up in here. Dana. Oh, is it not enough? All right. Mm-mm-mm. Sorry, I had to look up the page number. I don't think it's alphabetical order.
Oh, just take your time. I mean, I'm
Okay.
not the time police.
So she of
Yeah.
communion. So Dana comes at the end of a very long journey. She shows you how to sit and allow what has happened to settle, to find its meaning in your life. She doesn't push, she doesn't explain, or she doesn't argue. She just allows and she listens. Dana communes with the divinity that dwells in her life. She shows you how to have the utmost respect for your journey, no matter how painful or complicated, dull or beautiful it might be. You belong to your journey and it belongs to you. So it gives you that sort of quick description, and then it gives you questions to consider about the card. So it says, how do I integrate all that has happened to me? How do I commune with the journey of life? And how can that help me settle and absorb? And it gives keywords such as journey, communion, and meaning. And then it gives you a challenge. Release what you think you know about the meaning of something. There is more here that meets the eye. Wait a little longer to draw your conclusions. So
Hmm.
I
That's
just,
very good. Yeah,
yeah,
powerful, just like Susie said.
yeah. So the actual book, the guidebook that goes with it, I got off of Amazon. It's one of those like print on demand kind of things. But the actual deck itself, if you just type in like She of Insight Oracle, it's on Make Playing Cards. And you can get a cheaper version without the box. You don't have to get the box. It's actually much cheaper if you just get the deck and put it in a bag.
Yeah, that's why I didn't create a box for my deck because I saw how much it would bump up the price, and I was like,
Surprising
I
how
don't want to do
much.
that. A
Hmm.
lot, like $50 or something.
A
So
lot.
I was like, I'm not doing that. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
cards are, especially because a lot of people don't like to keep the box. So
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. For a flimsy, like cardboard box, I don't know how they can charge so much more, but they do. So.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand. But yeah, whatever. That's the side that I mean, I'm using it obviously, but and maybe a little advice for everybody who's thinking about selling decks there. Just so you know, you're not gonna get paid until you make at least 100 whatever bucks or euros in my case profit. So you really have to do either a big margin, which I don't advise because then people are not gonna buy your deck, except in some cases, whatever. But
Hmm.
you really have to be okay to push your things because unfortunately if you don't reach that threshold they're like, sorry, we can't pay you. And
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but after all, I don't really have an option because my local printer would have been more expensive, and the shipping on top of it, it would have been, just makes no sense for anybody to get it. So
Hmm.
this is what it is.
Yeah. No, I think that your pricing is fair, and I understand the behind the scenes of how it works and what you have to do to. I mean, after all, like you want to make some sort of a profit on it. But I also like there's some people in the community too that have said, well, this was never even meant to be available to other people, but other people have asked for it to be, so I've made it available. So yeah, I think it just depends on your goal, But I really love that you've shared this work with us because I use it in
I'm
a
just
number
so
of
happy to
communities.
hear that it's working for other people. It still
Yeah.
blows my mind when someone like, oh yeah, I'm using it and it's working. I'm like,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
know that it works for me, but you know
Yeah, I know many people in
okay,
this
I don't
community use
see
your deck. Yeah, like the zombie one. I've seen just the other day I
the
was
zombie. Yeah.
watching um I was watching Krista's channel. I think she's here. Is she here still? Um, Auntie K's tarot. She was using
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
she mentions your deck several times, and she likes it. I know she uses it in her reading. So yeah.
And she added my. I think that was her. I'm thinking that was her. She added it in the top 10 or whatever. That was the top
Hmm. I think
whatever
I'm
number.
pretty sure. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have that video saved on my. I have a playlist with
Hmm.
other people's walkthroughs or opinions on the deck, and I save that. I try finding these videos, but if you watch a video and my deck comes up and people are talking about it, doesn't matter if it's a good or bad opinion. I want to collect all and put it up there somewhere. So
Yeah.
if you see one, please send me the link so I can include it in my playlist.
Yep. Yeah. Krista just said yes. I love the zombie oracle. Do you have any of mini decks, like mini oracle decks?
I do, but they're so far
No, no,
away.
that's okay. You
I
don't have
have
to
the
get them.
forest fae. I have the forest fae and the flower petals,
Oh,
and I
cool.
love them both.
I have a bunch of them, but just the two that I just grabbed are Crystal Wisdom and then the Divine Doors. The Divine Doors are probably like my favorite. I have a thing for doors. I don't know.
I
It
was
just
thinking about getting that one. Yeah,
yeah, and it's
seems
just
like a fun one.
it is, yeah. And like all these
It
cool
seems like
different
something I would do.
exactly. And I have paired this with the building relationships deck too, just saying.
Mm.
Because, when you look at a
We might need
door,
to do a window edition, like
yes,
windows.
all the different aspects of the and it's really cool because when you think about it, like when you look into like psychology, if you for example are dreaming about a house, or you can just say a building, but whatever, that is supposed to represent like your soul. And then when you're in the building, different
Hmm.
rooms are different aspects, different parts of you. Yeah,
Oh,
so you can so when you so that's actually another layer to the building relationships. Maybe you didn't know, but I it's very much on that soulful level as well. Yeah.
yeah,
And
because I mean, these are most of them from the outside. Because
doorways,
I was,
doorways and thresholds have always called to me in a way that feels like it feels, I don't know, it feels more like spiritual in a way, like very other dimensional. Like, if you walk through the doorway, where's it going to take you? So I really like to like sort of let my mind go like that. Um,
I mean,
yeah.
I've always paid attention when I was, being a tourist somewhere, just looking at doors that were especially different or, unique. I was like, oh, I like that. It's really red or it's really green or it
Hmm.
has an intricate embellishment or something that I was the same. But
Yes.
I just like buildings in general. So,
Yes. Architecture, just buildings in general. I've always been really drawn to like abandoned buildings. I don't know. It's just something about it.
yeah, same. Yeah, oh, sorry. It's just that I was thinking about this, windows to the soul. I can do something like that, maybe a smaller deck, just like the door.
Yeah. Windows.
We'll see,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Exactly. You'll never know what will come up in your
But
creative
anyway, thank you so
endeavors.
much for being here. And yeah, we're gonna finish because, we're at more than an hour and,
See, we didn't think we'd
hopefully
have that
this
much
was
to talk
watchable.
about. Oh, yeah. I think, well, we touched on a bunch of different aspects. And, you know, I mean, yes, we did respond to the tag, but we also went with the flow of whatever came up in that moment, too, right? Which, I don't know, I really enjoy watching those kind of lives when it's less scripted and
Same.
more real. I don't know. But
I don't script shit except my book. So, I like having conversations. I'm not
yeah.
here to stick to points. I don't
Yeah,
care.
yeah,
Let
yeah.
the conversation take where it needs to take us. So
Exactly. Yep, I agree. I agree. I mean, some structure and organization is fine, but like if it's too structured, then it's like, okay. When it's alive,
yeah,
anyways, it's supposed to be interactive, is what I'm
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
say.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Mhm.
So everybody send me a new laptop vibes, please. So because next week exactly from a week from now is my birthday, and I would like to have a live stream with you all. If you have time to come and join me to celebrate
Yes.
my 40th birthday,
Hey, nice.
which is weird.
This is
So
my
yeah,
40th trip around
but
the sun too, but not to the end of the year. But I feel you.
I mean, I don't care about being older in a way, but I do. But I also don't like round numbers, so I'm like, can I be 41? It just sounds so much better. Some 41.
Oh, I embrace it. As a matter of fact, just 2 days ago, I found a bunch of silvers, like the stripe that goes right down the middle of all that.
I started that when I was 21, so I'm like,
I love it though. Like I am just, I'll
but I would
embrace
like
it.
to have it, in a better quality stream. But I'm so grateful for my sister for lending me this laptop. So, but I want my own. So, but yeah, I think we can finish because. Oh wait, there's a question. One of the things called you look at
You
the
look
door to see the
out the door
hallways.
to see the hallways.
Oh, the peepholes? Or it's not that's called. Isn't it peephole?
Peepholes? Oh yeah, on the doors, you mean?
Yeah, the
I think
looking.
so. I
I think
always found
so.
that they don't fucking
Peephole.
work. Like you're like, I can't really
I
see
don't know.
shit out of this thing.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, hopefully next week. Okay. So let's end this awkwardly as usual. Thank you everyone who was here. Thank you so much if you're watching the replay. I really do appreciate your being here. Leave any comments, favorite Oracle decks, how you use Oracle. If you're, planning on doing the tag, please do mention it so we can, seek it out. And yeah, hopefully see you. I mean, I want to see you all next week, but let's hope for a better quality. And thank you, Ange, for being here. I really
Yes.
do appreciate that.
Thanks for having
Bye,
me.